we open a restaurant in a new country for a week every month. So we're doing 20 restaurants in 20 countries in 20 months. And we are lucky enough to have quite a few regulars that come to our restaurant. So they'll come, most of them from Hong Kong, to each restaurant, and they'll kind of travel out for a couple of days. But the thing is, each month we get further and further away from Hong Kong, which is kind of our base, I guess. So we've done Beijing, Vietnam, Thailand, Nepal, we did base camp, India, and now we're just getting ready for Oman. Most of them are regulars, and they were just people crazy enough to come and spend 15 days hiking up Everest. And each day it would get harder because all the furniture, the tables and chairs were picked up and gathered slowly from guest houses on the way up there. So day one, you stay in a guest house and you're like, can I get a couple of tables and a chair, and I'll bring them back on the way back down the mountain? And they're like, okay. So every day was kind of more of a strenuous effort. It was much more of a social endeavor than we imagined it would be, because it became an effort that involved so many people. I think it's just people that want to try something different and want to experience something in a different way. And we believe, above all else, and the reason that we love doing what we do is because travel is great, but traveling with a purpose and a motive changes everything, because you are forced to meet people, you're forced to integrate yourself. You have no choice because you need to do it to get what you need to get done. So we take a local intern, so if we're going to Mumbai, we'll hire somebody in Mumbai. And then we also bring an intern in from another country, so you might be a chef in Hong Kong or London, and you can sign up, apply, and if you get approved, then we'll fly you out, pay for all your accommodation, and you can work with us for a couple of weeks in whatever country you choose. It's more just getting fresh faces, because obviously there's 6 of us and we get sick of each other every day, working, living, sleeping together. So it's good to have some fresh faces and fresh ideas as well. Stressfully, but each restaurant makes the next one possible. So as long as we pull it off and as long as it's a complete success, we just are okay to go to the next place. And that's pretty much how it works. It's just leapfrogging from one place to the next. But it's quite an intense way to do this, because if you made a serious mistake, or for example you made a mistake and you didn't sell your restaurant out, the whole thing's over and everyone goes back to their grown-up lives they had before, of jobs and apartments and stuff. A lot of the time we'll get jobs, really short jobs, but we'll go and work and we'll split up. So we might be in Vietnam and a couple of us will go and buy a crate of 30 cans of beer, and we'll go up to a fishing crew off the coast of Nha Trang, and we give this big fishing crew a case of beer to take us out to sea so we could work and live with them for a few days. And they were night fishing for squid in the Vietnamese Ocean, and it was the most poignant food experience, not because of just loads of fish being caught, but because at 3 a.m. everybody would stop and cram into the little galley, and you would just eat rice and fish sauce that their wives were making at home, and it was magic. It was a lot more, it was it was explosive, and I've had no fine dining experience that can level that, and nothing that's kind of made me think about food like that does. Good question. I think Mumbai was quite a tricky one, mainly because building a little business in that city is quite difficult, because it kind of feels constantly like everybody's trying to get past one another. So it was difficult to make a deal or to establish something that would last, and it was quite tricky, I think. Never travel without a married couple. It's honestly, everybody asks, how can you work, live together the way you do? Because everybody thinks that this is what we do is this kind of wonderfully romantic trip, and they picture us gliding through mountains with rucksacks on. But the truth is, it's gritty, it's hard. We work 20-hour days, and when you're not designing menus, you're coding websites or shooting and editing videos, and everything that you can imagine going into a restaurant, it's all in these 6 people, even carpentry and building. So it's kind of tough, and having a married couple, they are the relationship that's older than this is. And so they are the kind of the social compass that everybody else, they're the axis, if that makes sense. So married couple is the trick. Well, we're filming a documentary, so I think that's, there's a lot of weight on that, and a lot on kind of how how that comes off, and what people think of it and how it's perceived. So that's kind of the linchpin of where we go afterwards.